be entertainment history here tonight at the Arcadia. Joe Bob Briggs is in the building. I'd like to introduce now to you, somewhere in this building, a big hand to Joe Bob Briggs.
How you doing? I believe it. I don't know if this is a drive-in crowd or not. So I tell you what, to find out, I'm going to swear in this crowd. I want you to all rise for the drive-in oath. Raise your right hand and repeat after me. We are drive-in mutants. We are not like other people. We are sick. We are disgusting. We believe in blood, in breasts, and in beasts. If life had a vomit meter, we'd be off the scale. As long as one drive-in remains on the planet Earth, we will party like jungle animals. We will boogie till we puke. The drive-in will never die. Amen. All right. What are y'all looking at? I'll tell you what. Those Longhorns did it to them today, didn't they? You know, I was talking to some guys. I had another hat back there just in case they didn't, you know. I was talking to some guys from Baylor, you know, one of them private schools. Those private schools, they think they're so dang smart. You know, and they're always talking about the people at the state schools. I was telling them about Earl Campbell, the greatest football player ever to play at the University of Texas. Most people don't realize that he did get his degree. He got his degree in English as a second language. Well, you know, a lot of people have been saying to me, heard you had a little trouble down there at the Dallas Times Herald, Joe Bob. Well, yeah, I did. You know, it's really no accident that we're gathered here today. You know, probably the two saddest days in the history of Dallas. November 22nd, 1963, the day they assassinated John Fitzgerald Kennedy, and April 16th, 1985, the day they got Joseph Robert Briggs. Guess I'll always remember where I was when they killed me. Who could forget the look on the high sheriff's face when he looked into that little Channel 8 minicam and he said, Joe Bob is dead. People run through the streets of downtown Dallas screaming hysterically, the drive-in critic's dead. Oh my God, Joe Bob is history. He owed me $20. Stuff like that. Of course, the first thing I did, I called up my personal lawyer, Bubba Barclay, and I said, Bubba, how dead am I? And he said, I don't know, Joe Bob, let's go up to Parkland Hospital and find out. So we jumped in the Tornado, and we went up to Parkland, and I ran on inside to try to revive myself. I'm telling you, it wasn't a pretty sight. My eyeballs were ripped out and stuck on the back of my knees. Whole right half of my face was sewed on my stomach. All these interns were standing around saying, hey, you want a hit of this stuff? And there were these little guys with walkie-talkies running all over the hospital saying, we got to find somebody that knows the drive-in oath. Got to find somebody that knows the oath before this gets to Moscow. And of course, by then, it was already too late. You know, the saddest story in the whole deal, the kind of thing that just makes you sick when you think about it, it's when they announced the news to this little elementary school class in the communist Russia town of Vladitubsk. Hearing the news that Joe Bob Briggs was dead, 6- and 7-year-old children cheered. All over eastern Mesquite, children were sent home from school. Over in Fort Worth, junior high school students were asked to write essays on the topic, Joe Bob Briggs, who gets all his money now? Pope John Paul, he was so grief-stricken he refused comment. All over the world, people were asking the question, why? Why this senseless tragedy? Who's next? Mel Torme? And they were saying to me, they're saying, Joe Bob, how can such a thing happen? How can it happen? Well, I tell you, it happened for one simple reason. I was trying to do something for poor little helpless, starving, naked African children. You know, I know it's not a popular cause, you know. I could have done something easy like starting a cable TV network for the Ayatollah. But that's just the kind of guy I am. I admit it, I wrote We Are the Weird. I didn't even want credit for it. As far as I was concerned, all the money could have gone straight to my 4 ex-wives. In fact, if you want to know where the money was going to go, most of that money was going to go to building a chain of Wyatt's cafeterias in every nation of Africa. Then the money we had left over was going to go to purchase basketball scholarships to SMU for every Ethiopian child. But you know, you just can't help people anymore. Every time I've tried to help people, it's just come back on me. Like you take the National Organization of Bimbos. Excuse me, they just wrote me a letter, said that's not their actual name. It's a national organization for bimbos. But I put it on the line for them. I went out and I wrote an article and I said that I'm opposed to the random killing and mutilation of women unless it's necessary to the plot. And they turned against me on that deal. And then there was my Baptist brothers and my Pentecostal brothers over in Louisiana, Mississippi, they came over here about, it was a couple months ago. You might remember it. They were going to have a march on the world headquarters of 7-Eleven. And they said, we want the Playboys and the penthouses out of 7-Eleven. And I said, okay, I'll support you on that deal. I went down there, I marched with them. I said, I want the Playboys out. I want the penthouses out. I want them replaced with my 2 personal favorite magazines, Melons Monthly and Mouth and Garden. And they turned against me on that deal. My Mexican friends down in Corpus Christi, my Mexican friends turned on me, even though I love the Mexican people, especially the ones that sneak in. Then there was the Catholics, they write in, they say my head should be blown off in a Christian manner. And, but I guess what hurt the most is when the brothers turned on me. Me, the guy that discovered the Spin on Your Head permanent brain damage musical. Me, the guy that watched Roots 3 times and learned how to pronounce the ancient African term Afrosheen. I don't know if you heard about it. There's about 250, 300 of them. They came down to my ex-employer, the Dallas Times Herald, and they had a list of demands. Maybe you didn't hear the demands. Demand numero uno. We want Joe Bob Briggs to become a black person. I said, okay, I agree to that, Demand numero two. we resent the proceeds from We Are the Weird being dedicated to the United Negro College Fund. And I said, okay, but a Negro mind is a terrible thing to waste. And had some that didn't like that one over there. They're kind of going, he's going too far now, isn't he? He's going to say something bad. And numero 30, Joe Bob Briggs has cooties. And you know, I told him I do not have to take that kind of remark. I don't know. The whole thing, it still bothers me. There's a lot of papers that'll print Joe Bob Goes to the Drive-In, you know, Grambling, Louisiana, places like that, but it just won't be the same. And one thing that struck me about this deal, you may not have thought of this, but it occurred to me, it's sort of some miracle facts of world history. Like, here's one of them. Lincoln and Kennedy were both assassinated on a Friday. Joe Bob Briggs was assassinated on a Tuesday. Kind of makes you think, don't it? Then another one was, here's another one to think about. Lincoln and Kennedy were both succeeded by a man named Johnson. Joe Bob Briggs was succeeded by a man named Discount Furniture Clearance Today Only. But I tell you what, you know, you go through a thing like that and there's only one thing that can get you through it. And that's your faith. That's your faith. You know, no, your faith, your personal faith in the Lord. Them Baylor Bears, they could have won today if they'd had the faith. But I tell you what, I don't know if y'all been saved or not. Have you been saved? See, well, I didn't think so, in your case. See, I'm a Baptist, so I got to be saved. But we got a saying. We got a saying that goes like this. In the beginning, God created the Baptists. And the Baptists looked at themselves and said, we good. And God saw it was too late. Now, you know, a lot of you out there, you might not know what I'm talking about because maybe you're not a Baptist. But see, we don't care because you're going to hell. I wish I didn't have to say that to you. I wish I could put it in a nice way and convince you of the warmth and human understanding and peace that's emanating from my heart at this very moment. And it's going out into this theater and it's surrounding you with peace and Christian love and understanding and going inside you and convincing you in the very depths of your being that you are the scum of the earth. But, you know, I'm afraid God's about getting ready to turn you into a post-toasty and there's not a whole lot I can do about it. Anyhow, one thing I do like about being a Baptist is this once saved, always saved stuff. You know, because I only want to go through it once, you know. You go down there, they put you in the water, you know, and then the rest of your life, all you got to do is, you know, just sort of go to the Southern Baptist Convention once a year and discuss the great modern theological issues of the day and hide all the Coors in your trunk till the convention's over. Like this year we had the convention right here in Dallas. Some of you probably were there, you know. Well, I'm sure you know about it because we had 40,000 Baptist preachers in town on one day. I'm telling you, you can see them down there hanging around the post office. They were the ones that walk up to you and say, "Excuse me, but I'm a worker for the Lord, and could you direct me to the smut merchants and dens of iniquity that are infecting this great city of yours?" Some of them Baptist preachers were lonely. But anyhow, it was a big year. It was a big year at the Southern Baptist Convention because there were a lot of Methodists and Hare Krishnas trying to take us over and turn us into liberals. And so we debated a lot of big issues. Like one of them we debated this year was, did Elvis go to hell for turning himself into a walking drugstore right before he died? And another thing we always like to do at the Southern Baptist Convention is we always like to pass a few amendments to the Ten Commandments. Like, God meant every damn word He said, just like He said it in English. Now, you know, you take a book in the Bible, like one of my favorite books is Song of Solomon. I want to give you an illustration out of the Bible to show you how important this is. There's a verse in there, and it goes like this. Thy teeth are as a flock of sheep. Now, a lot of denominations, they don't take that literally. But if you will notice, most Baptists you meet do have bad breath. I tell you what, since we're talking about religious issues, I want to do something here that means a lot to me. I've been influenced greatly in my life by Dr. Gene Scott. And y'all know Dr. Scott? This is a gospel song. I had to get on my church clothes. Bought this coat off Porter Wagner. This is a gospel song I do. I hope you like it. It kind of expresses my personal faith in the Lord, and it's just called Thank You, Jesus. If you can imagine a barbershop quartet behind me. I want to thank you, Jesus, for bringing me the light and shining it directly in my eyes. 'Cause I was blinded, but things will be alright if you'll agree to see that my boss dies. I know it might sound drastic, Lord, but listen to my plea. Let's stick some hairy fungus in his ear. Or maybe we can get him on a technicality and make his dangling privates disappear. They fired my ass in Dallas, but you can fix it, Lord. They threw me out on Griffin Avenue. That man's a dirty phallus, so use your holy sword and turn him into editor fondue. I know you have your own ideas, Lord, of how to do the job. I'd never question your authority. A heart attack would do it, or trampled by a mob, or eaten by a giant bumblebee. I want to see his grisly carcass, Lord, on Channel 11 News when they pull the 18-wheeler off his chest. And then I want to take a 6-month ocean-going cruise with the money that I get from his bequest. They fired my ass in Dallas, but you can fix it, Lord. They threw me out on Griffin Avenue. That man's a dirty phallus, so use your holy sword. Turn him into editor fondue. Thank you, Jesus. Well, a religious crowd. We found a bunch of Baptists out here. You know what I want to do now? I want to talk about something that's important to all people in all time, and sort of get serious for a minute. Something that always comes up and everyone wants to hear about, and you shouldn't let a day go by without talking about this. It's me. A lot of people, they ask me, they say, "Where are you from, Joe Bob?" Actually, what they usually say is, "Where are you from, boy?" But where I'm from is Cranway County, Texas. Nobody, I guess y'all never been there, and I don't blame you. Anyhow, I'm going to assume that you never been out to Cranway County, judging by your reaction, and go ahead and tell you about it. Our chief industry is dirt. We got more dirt per capita than any county in Texas. And one year we got wrote up in Texas Highways magazine as the dirt capital of North America. You name the dirt and we got it. Rocky dirt, dirt balls, granulated dirt, brown dirt, red dirt, clay dirt, rare strain of Siberian tundra dirt, designer dirts, and of course your commercial dirts for your dirt-consuming industries. You can stand up, in fact, you can stand up on the north end of town and look up towards Oklahoma and Colorado. All you can see for miles is dirt. Downtown on the second floor of the Clodd building, they published Dirty Man's Weekly, International Journal of the Dirt Business. Of Of course, I didn't know all this stuff while I was growing up there. When you live in Cranway County, you just kind of take dirt for granted. My daddy worked in the dirt mines. He first went down into the pit in 1943 when they needed so much extra dirt for the war effort. And they paid him 50 cents a day and all the dirt he could haul home in his pickup. Daddy never complained, but I always thought he hated the dirt mines, especially when he'd come home at 11 o'clock at night and track mud all over the linoleum. Mom'd get a pained expression on her face, like it was about to break her, but she never would say anything. She understood. She'd married a dirt miner. If she had to go through her whole life without anybody in the family being clean, she could handle it. A lot of people looked down on us because we were dirty all the time. Mama did her best to try to make us look nice. All our clothes were dark brown. Dark brown shirts, dark brown shoes, dark brown pants, dark brown dresses for my little sister. Of course, most of the time we couldn't afford clothes. We used to go to school naked except in the wintertime. I always thought it hurt Mama that nobody could ever tell whether we had clothes on or not. Me and my little sister walked 84 miles to school every day. And then we'd come home and read The Pilgrim's Progress by a gas lamp until we fell asleep, and then we'd be up at 5 a.m. the next morning fixing flapjacks for breakfast. I don't know why we did this. We should have ridden a school bus like everybody else. And used the electric lights in our room. But Daddy said that that's the way he did it, and his daddy before him, and his daddy before him, and so we all agreed that we'd grow up better people if we did it the stupid way. I guess we got up to about page 20 in The Pilgrim's Progress, because nobody can read more than 2 sentences of that book without falling dead asleep. But that book taught me a whole heck of a lot about capital letters. I always had to throw out the flapjacks, though, because nobody in the house got up till 9 a.m. Anyway, at the time I'm talking about, back during the 50s, Texas legislature voted the state officially racist, which caused us a lot of problems out there in Cranway County because we had a little bit of everything out there. We had blacks, Indians, Mexicans, ugly white people. Had 6 or 7 people of the Jewish persuasion that moved up from Lubbock to open up a dirt brokerage company. And then we had one old fart named Mr. Tolliver Gristle. We never did figure out what he was. Mainly because Tolliver, he stayed holed up in his clock house all day working on his clock collection and writing letters to the editor of the Cranway Crescent about how the Germans were rearming. And any day now there's going to be a blitzkrieg through Cranway County. And it would be the first sign of the Antichrist and the fiery destruction of Texas. And the only ones to be raptured up into the heavens and saved would be those who kept the hour of his coming as it is written in the book. Evidently, Mr. Gristle had been reading in The Pilgrim's Progress his own self because he could use capital letters like a son of a bitch. Anyhow, Texas legislature voted the state officially racist, and we didn't know what the heck to do. I would have been happy to help out and go, round up a posse of wranglers or something and go hassle some minority groups just to comply with the law, But when you got a county full of dirt miners, you can't hardly tell the difference. Like one day we went down to the pit when they were hoisting the miners up the shaft for lunch break, and one by one as they'd come up, I'd say, "What racial persuasion are you?" And most of them, as they come up, they'd say, "Huh?" But the ones that didn't say, "Huh," they'd say, "I'm a white man." And so this went on for darn near an hour, and finally this old boy come up the pit, and I said, "What racial persuasion are you?" And he says, "I'm a white man." And this other old boy yelled back across at him, he says, "Hell you say," threw his dirt mine helmet down on the ground, flung some mud out of his eyes, and pretty soon we had dueling dirt heads. These two guys rolling around in the dirt, reform school dropouts, trying to prove beat each other up to prove who was whiter. Kicked up so much dust with their boots that it formed this little mushroom cloud over the pit. A lot of valuable dirt drifted over into Yoakum County. When the foreman found out about it, he docked their pay for 2 weeks and made them bust clods. But by that time, a lot of the dirt miners had money riding on the outcome. So the next Saturday afternoon, we all went down to the volunteer fire station to hose them down and check for race. So the first guy, we hosed him down, turned out to be a guy named Stub Jinks, originally from Lone Oak, Arkansas. And judging by his face, I'd say he was definitely 100% pure D white trash, probably descended from a long line of cousins. Next guy, hosed down the next guy, and sure enough, this guy named Bobo Rodriguez. And sure enough, he turned out to be roughly the color of Taster's Choice decaffeinated. So we didn't know what the heck to do. We stood there and looked at him for a minute. Nobody said anything. And finally I said, Bobo, things aren't looking too good for you in the white department. And Bobo kind of backed off and he looked at his arms and he kind of studied himself up and down. And then he said, oh yeah, I forgot. I'm a Shawnee. Well, we weren't too happy about this either because we'd never seen a Shawnee and didn't know what one was supposed to look like. And about that time, Mr. Gristle wandered over from his clock house and he said he thought it was a conspiracy. He said, what are the chances of hosing down just 2 guys in all Cranway County and one of them turns out to be a Pawnee? Bobo said, Shawnee. Mr. Gristle said, Pawnee, Shawnee. I say he's the Antichrist. So anyhow, we talked it over and we finally decided, you know, that one Pawnee or Shawnee more or less didn't mean diddly to the Texas legislature. And anyhow, we didn't know what to charge him with. You know, for a while, we talked about building some separate restrooms and drinking facilities, putting little signs on them that said Pawnees and Shawnees only. Sheriff said, might as well just write Bobo Rodriguez on there if we're going to do that. But you know, nobody thought it was a very good idea to give Bobo his own personal drinking fountain and restroom. Even if he was a Shawnee. And so finally we just decided to let him off with a warning. And so the sheriff kind of pulled him aside and he says, Bobo, I'm going to let you go this time. But if I ever catch you forgetting your race or skin color in public ever again, I'm turning in a full written report to the Texas Department of Public Safety, and you are going to be one sorry-looking Pawnee. Bobo said, Shawnee. Mr. Gristle said, he's the Antichrist. And then the sheriff, he wheels on me and he says, Joe Bob? I said, yes, sir. He says, I don't want to see any more of these men being hosed down in public. Is that understood? And I said, yes, sir. And he said, especially not with Christmas dirt shipments coming up. And I said, yes, sir. See, he knew that my mama worked down at Pearl's Dirt Works making up these gift packages that were sent around the world at Christmas time. Anyhow, it was my first brush with the law, but I thought it taught me a valuable lesson. And that lesson was the color of our skin might be different, but the color underneath our skin is disgusting. Talking about that dirt mining makes me feel kind of bluesy. I'm kind of getting those dirt mine blues. Let's see if this audience knows the blues. Joe Bob sings the blues. I got the dirt mine blues. I'm blue as I can be. Not yet, they don't. I got the dirt mine blues. Turn up the music. The crime done stuck to me. get to you from here. I got scuffed up shoes and skin like ebony. I got the low down, rotten, awful, gross out city dirt mine blues. Let's try that again. I got the slimy, scummy, filthy, nasty, gross out city dirt mine blues. Come on, a little bit more. Keep going like. I got mud on my toenails and earthworms in my shoes. Let's try it again now. I got the dirt mine blues. They call me Cesspool Joe. Gotta get down, they say get down. I got the dirt mine blues. My sewers overflow. Shit, I'm gonna do it anyway. I ain't Howard Hughes. No. All I am is Poe. This is only a $9,000 speaker. I got this scumbag, rotten, awful, gross out city dirt mine blues. I got the scumbag, rotten, awful, gross out city dirt mine blues. I got a garbage dump life that's settling down in the ooze. Here's something. I got the dirt mine blues. My wife, she feeds me swill. You know about this one? Yeah. I got the dirt mine blues. I guess she always will. No husband's here. That bitch put slop on the table. Just the smell of that stuff would make you ill. I got the root to air pollute, rat recruiting, dirt mine blues. Let's try that one again. I got the rootin', tootin', air pollutin', rat recruiting, dirt mine blues. I got rocks in my lunchbox and dirt clod IOUs. Okay, listen to this now. Well, some days I'm a black man, some days I'm a brown, some days you can't make me out unless I'm upside down. I got the dirt mine blues. I'm blue as I can be. I ain't a nude mud wrestler, just a reasonable facsimile. Let's hear some of that B.B. King solo now. And I'll sit down. Now this lady here, take some time out, talk about the blues. I didn't think so. This is the part of every blues song where you gotta have the solo so everybody will think it's gonna go on forever. Oh my God. Well, I'm dirty in the morning, dirty
at night. The only way to clean me is to lick me in a fight. I got the dirt bike blues. Oh yeah, I'm blue as I can be. I got scuffed up shoes and skin like a bow.
I can see it now. You're going to go home and say, you wouldn't believe what that guy did. He went up there and he begged for a standing ovation. He said, you know, that wasn't so funny, but then they gave it to him. But I became a feminist this year. Yeah, it's true. I heard some boos back there. Yeah, it's true. I stopped chaining up women and everything. In fact, well, I tell you, what really happened is there were these two twin sisters from Memphis, and they come out to the trailer park last February, and they told me they wanted to raise my consciousness. And I wasn't too keen on the idea. I said I like my consciousness just fine down in the dirt where it belongs. But they raised my consciousness all night long. In fact, they raised my consciousness so many times you could have used it for a color weather radar map. And then Shirley, the sister that still had all her teeth, she said that for no extra charge they were going to teach me to be vulnerable. And so that took about 30 minutes, and then they untied me. And they said they were going to teach me how to get in touch with my feelings. And so one of the sisters exposed my feelings with the back of her hand while the other one caressed my vulnerables. As you probably know, this is illegal in the state of Texas without a health inspection license. But that's okay, because Rhonda, the one that had hair on both sides of her head, she showed me her license. In fact, she kept showing me her license over and over all night long till I told her she's going to get mistook for a javelina hog on the first day of season. Anyhow, the only point I'm making here is I'm a new man. I've learned my lesson. I've learned to stop treating women like old pieces of dirty laundry and start treating them like beat-up yellow mattresses. And you know, it didn't stop there either. Like I still go to a weekly consciousness-raising seminar down on Harry Hines Boulevard. You know, I can tell that this crowd has all been there. In fact, you know, I was in San Francisco about 6 weeks ago, and they were telling me how weird the places are in San Francisco. They showed them all to me. I said, shoot. I said, you've never seen Harry Hines Boulevard. I said, we got Hereford cattle out there turning tricks. But you know, after becoming a feminist, I went down to Debonair Dance Land. I put up a sign in the men's room telling people where they could call Shirley and Rhonda to get their vulnerables altered. And but I guess the biggest thing I did is I even wrote a letter to Geraldine Ferraro telling her how sorry I was for making fun of her two enormous talents. They really aren't that enormous, are they? You know, it's the kind of distortion that we're all guilty of when we look at the world through those little plastic glasses with the fake mustache on the bottom. But anyway, once I became a feminist, I decided to fall in love. I don't know why, you know, it just never had done it before, and I thought it sounded kind of kinky. And but the problem is, what I've been looking for is, I guess what I've always been looking for is a clean, decent, wholesome, all-American, good-looking girl that likes to dress up like a farm animal in bed. But you know, you just can't find those anymore. And so, you know, one advantage of being a drive-in movie critic is my column now, it appears in a lot of these, I don't know what you call these, like Confessions of a Nude Model here. And I get a discount on these personal ads. And so, you know, I decided to go directly for the groceries. And I wrote an ad here. I hope you like it. I wanted to share it with you. Let's see. Here we go. This is my personal ad, looking for a wife. Mostly white male, over 19, drive-in movie critic, shy, drunk, wants to meet sensitive, caring slut. Prefers to fall in love unless you have huge garbanzos, which I'll handle on a breast-by-breast basis. Do you like long walks in the park? Then take a hike. Under 75 years old desired. Experienced virgin preferred. Send photos so I can do an ugly check. This is serious. I am not jacking you around. We're talking death do us part unless we get a divorce. Love, Joe Bob Briggs. Well, you know, it's amazing how these things work for you. I got enough Polaroid snapshots back in the mail to open up a kennel. And I brought some of them for you tonight. Here's the first one to come back in the mail. 2 extremely nasty females in Denver sent in some pictures of themselves goosing each other in a Kmart photo booth. Looks like they're offering some kind of Mormon package. About a 5 on the Purina dog chow meter. Here's numero 20. Blonde bimbo in Sarasota, Florida, sent in a bunch of astrology bull stuff wanting to know my sign. My sign is Harry's, by the way. Got plenty of mileage on her. Evidently stuffed something down the front of her dress. I could probably marry this one for 3-4 weeks. Oh, this is a good one. Punk rock groupie in North Hollywood that asked me a bunch of questions about MTV. Hair looks like a map of Uganda. Here's a little girl in North Richfield, Ohio. Writes on bunny rabbit stationery and puts little hearts over her eyes. And wants me to come take her away to some exciting place, like Toledo. We're talking statutory here. Here's one married lady in Akron. Looks like she could bench press a Chrysler. Wants to crush me with her thighs. No, thank you. Well, as you can see, I get a lot of mail from extremely nasty females all across this great country of ours, but I haven't found that one sleazy one that's for me. I don't know, you know, they say you can fall in love at any time, and, you know, in fact, maybe I could fall in love tonight, and, you know, that gives me an idea. I'll tell you what I'll do. I'm going to count to 3, and when I get to 3, anybody that would like to be my 5th wife. No, let me correct that. When I count to 3, any of you ladies that would like to be my 5th wife, I'll count to 3, and you just holler up your phone number, and I'll write it down here, and then next week I'll call you, and we'll get together, okay? Hold on just a minute. Okay, here we go. 1, 2. If you're from out of town, area code first. 3. You know, they told me this would happen if I did this show here. I think I should have made it clear that no professionals are allowed to participate in this. Only the nice ladies in the audience are allowed to do this, okay? You know, I know some of you, the reason you didn't say anything when I did that is you were saying to yourself, yeah, he says he'll call. They all say they'll call. But really, I'm not like all those other guys. I'll call, really. So let's try it again. 1, 2, area code first. 3. That sounded like the same ones as last time. I tell you what, I can tell that a lot of you still are kind of shy, and you're thinking to yourself, all right, what if I yell up my phone number and somebody that it's not intended for gets it and then comes around and hits on me? So I'll tell you what we'll do this time. I'll count to 3, and if you want to be my 5th wife, you just kind of flash your breasts, and wherever you are in the theater, I'll come to you, and you can whisper your phone number in my ear, and it'll just be between me and you. And so when we do it this time, you guys don't look, guys, okay? Ready? Really, I won't try anything. Okay? Ready? 1, 2, 3. Didn't have anything under there, did you? Well, a lot of you might think I'm kind of discouraged by this. Kind of insulted by the whole deal, and you're right. But I'm telling you, I won't stop until I fall in love. I won't stop until I find the meat of my dreams. You know, I'm starting to feel a little patriotic. And hadn't intended to do this tonight because it can get me in a whole lot of trouble. You know, investigations, protester, Entertainment Tonight, come talk to me, interview me. Don't y'all have any respect for your country? You know, over the past few weeks, I've been traveling back and forth across this great land of ours. And do a lot of interviews, answer a lot of questions. And like one of the questions I'm frequently asked is, Mr. Briggs, I'm from the New York Post, and I would like to ask you, do you think starvation is funny? And I would like the opportunity to answer that question tonight. I am opposed to starvation, and I will not have it in my own house. This is the moment that I guess you've all been waiting for. We're going to make history tonight. It's a magic moment. I want to share with you what you're about to hear. I want to share a little story with you. We got all the drive-in stars, all the drive-in movie stars from around the world to come out to Grapevine Studios and record what you're about to hear. They were all there. Mamie Van Doren, Charles Bronson, the Mutant, Leatherface. They all joined hands, linked arms, swayed, sang together, except for the Mutant who don't have arms. And I was there, and it was magic, it was different, it was special. And I'm going to try to give you some flavor of what it was like right now, the song that changed history. Go ahead and let's hear it. Let's turn it up a little tonight. You all know it. There comes a time when we need a piece of meat, when the world must scrape together some grub. There are rock stars dying, and it's time to make 'em eat. They don't really need no NutraSweet. We can't go on. No, pretending day by day that someone else will build the cafeterias. We all need chow to stuff our faces with. And the truth, you know, goat meat is all we need. We are the weird. We are the starving. We are the scum of the filthy earth. So let's start scarping. There's a goat head bacon. We're calling it our food. If the Mexicans can eat it, we can eat it too. Send them a heart so they'll know that someone cares. And a lung, and an elbow, and 3 big toes. As the big guy told us, we must always clean our plates, 'cause then all the African stomachs won't look gross. We are the weird. We are the starving. Come on, sing along, come on. So let's start scarping. There's a burger bacon. We're calling it Big Mac. All the roaches inside. There's a roaches back. When you're down and out, there seems no slop at all, 'cause they took it for the tourists at the Hilton Hotel. Let us realize that they need it just the same, 'cause they don't know how to eat a beetle shell. We are the weird. We are the starving. We are the starving. We all know it. Let's do it. We are the scum of the filthy earth, so let's not starve. Isn't it true? There's a big pile. And a Dr. Pepper too. We'll sing out for church's chicken, me and you. Come on, we are the weird. You know, I know a lot of you are feeling things now that you've never felt before in your lives. There are things going on inside you that you scarcely dreamed of. Maybe you're having a heart attack. Or maybe it's time for you to walk that drive-in aisle. Maybe it's time for you to rededicate your life. It's a new life tonight. It's a changed life. It's a new time. We're going to play the chorus one more time for those of you who are undecided. I want every head bowed, every eye closed, and I want you to come now. I want you to come now. I can see them at the back. They're kneeling. They're moved. They're going to come forward. Come forward now. I'll counsel with you. I'll pray with you. We're changed people tonight. Let's do one more verse for the undecided. Here they come. I can see them now. You're healed. Just kneel down here. Kneel down right here. We'll have people coming along shortly to take your money. Are there more? Are there more? We're going to do it one more time. Are there more? Here's the mutant. He's coming. He's transfixed. He's mesmerized. He's talking in tongues. He would be talking in tongues, but he has no tongue. Now he's coming. He's talking in toes. There he is. What a moment. What a moment it happened. Hallelujah. I can't believe it. I can't believe it. It's never been like this. As you can see, we have here 7, 8 people. You know, at Texas A&M Consolidated High School, we saved 220. And I said, I can't believe you people did this. And they said, we're seniors. Well, it looks like we're running out of cord. Salvation only extends as far as this microphone. Those of you back there are shit out of luck. So I tell you what, I think they told you beforehand, there's a bunch of yokels paying for this tonight. They're paying for the video cassette, the whole deal, you know. It's like I didn't have to put up jack for this. And they said, you know, whatever you want to eat, whatever you want to drink, you know, take care of it. And I said, well, you know, I got a few friends here. I might want to take them out after the deal. And so, come on, let's go to Denny's.